You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired. For this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
Hi, thank you for tuning in to Making a Difference. I'm Melissa Billie Clark. We were so honored to talk with longtime actress Alysia Joy Powell. Her role as Mrs. Winters in Judas and the Black Messiah brought out a lot of her that we ended up touching upon spirituality. For all of our healers, messengers, and those who tap into their energy, you're not going to want to miss this. Please head over to our YouTube channel, Melissa Billie Clark Show, like and subscribe. Be sure to check out Alysia's article coming up in Pet Lifestyle magazine. Alysia, thank you so much for joining us here on Making a Difference. You know, in my research with you, what I liked about you is that you kept talking about your spirituality. And we talk about that so much on this program. You're blessed with the gift of acting and your talent. Tell us about your thought process on living in a spiritual realm.
You know what? That's, I guess because it's always been a part of me. I came from a family with spiritual gifts. I come from a family of healers and seers, and that just runs in my family. My great-grandfather was a preacher, and people would come from all over the parishes. He was in Louisiana. He helped found Grambling University, and people would come from all over to see him. My grandmother had gifts. My mother is incredibly strong with her gifts. She's a healer. She has a gift of healing hands. Whenever I've been in pain, or if I've had an injury or a migraine or anything, she's able to send me energy and it goes away. Okay. And so I have that. So my mother, when she was coming up, or when she had kids, she said, all the things that my parents made me do, I'm not going to make my kids do. So stuff like, she didn't make me wear a girdle, but she told me about foundation. Another thing was religion. You know, she didn't force religion on us, though I went to a Catholic school. I went to a parochial school coming up. And so I guess my first organized religion was Catholic. And then, you know, then she allowed us, she like rarely took us to church. She allowed us to go to church where we wanted to. Right. And I remember from very little that I always had a relationship with God. I like that. Yeah, I had an invisible friend for way longer than I should have, you know what I mean? And I felt that it was a spirit that was, you know, watching over me. So since very early, I've had a realization of what spirit was. My dad was a doctor of metaphysics, so that was a whole nother side, you know. Yeah.
So do you have a lot of, I want to ask you this question because this happens in my life. I'm also a healer. Do you have a lot of failed relationships in your life because they do come to you for healing? You know what I mean? Are you laughing because you agree with me? I'm asking because this happens. I have a lot of people who come to me for healers and for healing. And there are a lot of my male relationships. And it's not me. I know it's not me. So What do you think, Alysia?
That's very interesting. You know, I know my mom has to be very careful sometimes of her relationships, or even like even some of my friends, I introduce her to them and then they become succubus. Like they only want to talk to her because they want a reading or something like that, you know. Right. They want to, you know, see deep inside of them, or they want a healing. And so I started saying, so my mom is $125 a session, you know, the kind of, you know, you know what I mean?
It's so good.
Yeah, you know, In regards to relationships, that's so funny. I think the older I get, the more I know what it is that I want. And I
Yes.
think at a time, people men either wanted to have power over me, or they wanted to minimize who I was because all of me is like too much. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so I was very careful about those kind of energies that I might have been bringing to me. So at this point, I think I've just been very selective, because I haven't, even though I have a lot coming at me just regularly, because I'm an actress and I'm cute and I'm a big booty girl.
You are cute. You are cute.
But I have to be really careful about the energy that comes around me, and I'm very protective of my space. I'm even more protective of my gifts and of my gifts of acting, of my gifts of creativity. I'm even more careful about those things than even myself. And so I think because that, between what I throw away and what God blocks, that, I have good people coming at me.
That's right. Before this interview, I researched you all last night. I researched you a week ago as well. And when you're talking to people, I can see it within you. So I actually had an anxiety attack, and that happens ever so often when I meet people like you. I know it's crazy, but we do talk about this on the show. It's not a gift. Sometimes it could be a curse, because I get this anxiety. And I've had this since I'm a kid. So now it's actually touching more after my parents passed away. So it's just, I wanted to, no, thank you.
Interesting. It's so funny because I had my first panic attack in the Target like a week ago.
Why do you think that happened?
Everything came at me all at once. And when you're in this business, people see the glamorous side of things, and people see you in a certain light.
Yes.
But then you see the struggle of you being seen or being acknowledged or getting what you're worth.
That's right.
And all those things. And I've been in this business like 20 plus years, and
Yes.
it all seems to be coming together.
Yes.
And the emotional component of everything that it's been like with this project, it's been very emotional.
Sure.
Meeting the families, Mark Clark's family, who was assassinated, with Chairman Fred, meeting Chairman Fred Jr. and Mama Akua, aka Deborah Johnson, and being linked to Jake Winter's family. I felt like I've been crying all week. And then I don't know, it's like I could feel it rising up and creeping up, and then I couldn't catch my breath. And then by the time I got to the Target door, I was in full-blown crying mode, but I knew who to call. I have a girlfriend who's known me forever, know. And I called her, and she did her thing. She talked to me, and she told me the things that I specifically needed to know, and she prayed over me. And then God was there too, because it was this woman who worked at the Target, and she stood right there the whole time, and she didn't move. And when I got off the phone, she hugged me. This is COVID. She hugged me, like really hugged me.
She was a messenger. She was a messenger.
Yes, yeah, because I didn't see her no more. I was looking for her,
it's
and
true.
I didn't see her anymore. And she said, you deserve everything that you're gonna get.
You see?
She said, and God is with you, and you're gonna be okay. I was like, wow.
That's right. And if that does ever happen to you again, which I hope it doesn't, because it is a scary feeling, having anxiety. I've had it. I've had it my whole life, but I'm actually able to tame it now. But I always keep this in my head: if God brings you to it, He'll see you through it. So just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. You let the universe just work with your energy and use it to your advantage, just like how you do your acting. This is just my experience.
No, I mean, when things happen to me, it's like, for me, it's like a sign of getting it together. Like, I recently had a really bad audition. And I was like, okay, I know what it is. Let me get it together and set up everything I need to do.
Sure.
You know, and it was the same thing with this. So I signed up actually for a meditation workshop that I'm doing this weekend.
Good.
And I have my dad's singing bowls. My dad passed in May. So I got one of his singing bowls. So that gives me comfort. So I'm doing a couple of little things to, you know, put that in check, you know?
Sure. I see a spiritual advisor, you know, she does Reiki on me, but she touches me. And when I leave that place, and she's like dirt cheap, like she's amazing. And I had an appointment in January. My next one's in April. That's how crazy busy she is. But when I leave her, I just feel amazing. So I'm very proud that you're doing that, and I really hope it helps you. And I'm sorry about your father. That must have had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, because this time, you know, he was an actor before me, and he was my, you know, my mom is my best friend. That's my ride or die chick, you know.
God
but
bless. Yeah.
my dad was like my wisdom, you know.
Yes.
And I miss talking to him. I miss hearing his voice. I miss him, you know, speaking into me. And so, yeah, that's a part of it too, that I'm going through this stuff that I wish he was here to see.
I know. He's there right with you. The energy doesn't leave. My next question to you is, the entertainment industry can be tough. We just had a conversation about that. How do you use your Zen to ward off the negativity? Because people are, you know, they're very powerful in the entertainment industry, and they can be hustlers and, you know, angry.
You know what? I think because I'm entering the industry later in life
Yeah.
than younger, that there's some things, some foundational things that I know, and there's some things that I feel, and I always go with that. You know, like, I mean, something simple as going to the right party, you know?
Yes.
It saved my life, really, you know, not hanging out and talking about worth, making sure that people took me at my worth and not, like, you know, sleeping my way to the top or whatever.
Sure.
Because stuff comes at me, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm not that girl. But if you want me because of what I can do, you know, then let's do that, you know, but I'm not doing that other stuff, you know. And I made sure that I put those boundaries down, you know, very early on.
Sure.
But I think too, because I came in the industry at a time when I kind of knew myself, that I was able to avoid some of those traps.
Good. Very nice. Thank you so much. For the new actors coming out, don't end up on the casting couch.
Or the chair, or the kitchen counter. None
That's
of that.
right. The desk. It's true. Alysia is going to be featured in Pet Lifestyles magazine. We're going to be speaking about her beautiful two cats, Ruby and Aussie. Tell us about them, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's a definitely a story. So I had a baby. His name was Garth.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Garth for 22 years.
Yeah.
And he passed away, not of old age, but of cancer.
The cat.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were talking about a child. I'm sorry.
He was a Siamese cat.
So 22, he passed away?
22, I had to put him to sleep. And
so sorry.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst thing I ever been through in my life. And I mean, like, a relationship so long. And then I didn't realize how much he had been suffering, you know, until I took him to the vet, and I was like, oh my God, this baby is skin and bones. He was holding on for me. And even like on the way to the vet, I was crying the whole way, and he was wiping my tears with his paws, and he was kissing me, and he kept playing with my earrings all the way. And I stayed in the room until he wasn't here anymore. And I walked him into heaven. I whispered into his ear all the way. So I didn't want any more pets after that. You know, I was like, I can't, my heart can't take that, you know, like, you know, who could be after Garth, you know? And so it was 9 months. I really had to get like a healing. I went home, because I live in Brooklyn, in New York, and my mom, all my family's in California. So it's like I have to go home, you know, because I need family, I need love, I need some healing. So I went home. 9 months later, a friend calls me and she says, my cat just had kittens. I was like, nope, I'm good.
Right.
And so then she sent me pictures and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then she had me come over one time, like for brunch or whatever, and I saw them, and they were only 6 weeks. They were 6 weeks old, and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. And then there were a litter of 5, and there were 2 that were together all the time. They just were stuck together. And I was like, oh, I hope whoever gets them, that they'll take both of them, because they can't be separated. And then I researched it, and it said that it's our misunderstanding that we think cats like to be by themselves. Now, Garth, he really did, because he didn't play, you know. But he only wanted me by himself. But for them, you know, it was saying that, you know, they really need company, and it should be from the same litter.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my God. And it started tugging on my heart. So I said, okay. So I got them at 9 weeks, and they're now 3 years old. Actually, they're having a birthday coming up in March.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Are they domestic cats, Alysia? Are they domestic?
So yeah, they are domestic, but their mom was a feral cat.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're very interesting. They're very much different than Garth. So they are very loving. And it's like, it feels like every day, especially if I go out of town, like we get closer and closer, but they still are not like the ones that like to be picked up and cuddled, you know?
Right.
But they show me love. But and actually Ruby is very much a girl. Ruby is very, very clean. She likes a very clean environment. She really likes bleach. I don't know. She is very clean. I'm telling you, when I clean, and if I mop the floors with bleach, she's all in the floor. She was like, yes, this is what I like.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
She went through COVID with that.
And then Ossie is very much a boy, you know, he's very much male, and very mischievous, you know, and he's a little bigger than her. And it was so funny because I wanted to name them Sonny and Cher. Mommy's like, you don't know any Black people? I was like, okay, Ossie and Ruby. So
do you think that cats have a bad rap?
A huge one. Oh my God, people misunderstand cats so much. They think they're sneaky. They think they're like nice. They're a little conniving, but they're not.
Yes.
And they're very perceptive. Very, very perceptive. When I had Garth, it would be funny. I could tell someone's energy by the way he responded to them. Now, I know if it was somebody he thought I was going to get close to, because he would sit in between us and then he'd look at the person like, yeah, what are you here for? And then like somebody who did not have good energy at all, he would just go straight to the bedroom and not come out. But then there were people, he would sit in their laps. And I knew that they were really cool people, you know.
That's interesting. Did he help you with your relationships and kind of tell you in so many ways, hey, this one's no good or this one's good?
You know what? The relationship that I have with God, I kind of know that.
So you know that. Yeah,
I know that. But it was very interesting to see what his reactions would be to people. And I'd always notice, because there would be times I go, gosh, Garth didn't come out at all, you know, or, you know, like he would go into somebody's lap and just really like be all over them. And I was like, he doesn't do that. Like, oh my God, like you must have great energy, because he never goes up to people like that. Or, you know, it would be really weird that he would do certain things. Yeah.
Very interesting. And so you are a spiritual person. So you believe that animals are spiritual as well. Tell us about.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, most definitely. I believe that they have spirit. And it's so funny how pets know you.
Yes.
They know when you're sad. They know when you need love. And their relationship, you could see that your relationship grows with them.
Yes.
I really experienced that with Ossie and Ruby, because I'm so glad I got both of them, because Ossie helped Ruby socialize. She's
Mm,
more standoffish, you know. It took her a little while to warm up to me. And then she was like, okay, I like her. And then I started going away. If I go home, I'm usually gone for like 2 weeks at a time.
right.
And whenever I come back, it's like they're more in love with me than when I left. You know, like as soon as we get closer or something, because they really miss me.
Of
Uh,
course.
but yeah, and most definitely they have spirit. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for all this information. Once again, Alysia will be in Pet Lifestyle magazine. Please check out the article. So let's get into your acting. Do you still do stand-up?
You know what? Stand up, I don't like doing the clubs, you know, but I love hosting. So sometimes somebody will have an event and they'll want me to, you know, to host it. And that's when I do my stand up, you know. So I'm always, whenever something comes to me, I kind of write it in my phone. And so I like pick up bits, you know, like if I
Yeah.
wanted to write a show and put a show together, then I have all these little bits in my phone. So yeah, I still kind of do that. Yeah.
I saw on YouTube at Gotham Club in New York City. You are hilarious. You're hilarious. You're very open and honest, and that's pretty cool. But you're also a acting coach. Are you still okay? Great. What is the most important takeaway that you want your students to leave with?
um that they have to do the work. It's a journey. There is nothing called overnight success, even though people use that a lot. And to know yourself and understand who you are is really, really important in this business, because if you don't know, they'll come up with something for you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And relationships are everything.
You've worked alongside Anne Hathaway, Eva Longoria, Deborah Messing. That's just to name a few. What advice would you give to a new actor working amongst these people?
I would say bringing your whole self. You know, bringing your whole self. You can't. And when you're in character, when you're going into your character, all that stuff goes away. You know,
The nervousness.
well, you can't be caught up with who you're with. It's about the work. You know, it's not about who I'm hanging out with. It's about the work. And then, you know, afterwards there's breaks, and, you know, there's times in between shooting that you could just, you know, fan out or whatever, but the work is the work. And I've always approached it like that. I never forgot that time I was on NYPD Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I came on, and the director like stopped taping. And he said, you know what, listen, you guys are gonna have to get it together, because I am not bringing Alysia down. You're gonna have to come up to her level. So then he called for the acting coach to come on set. He's like, I'm gonna give y'all a moment and get it together, and then you guys need to come up to her level. And I was like, wow. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I just do the work. I don't get caught up in who they are. Like I said, afterwards you have a conversation, and then you get to know who they are. But the work is the work.
Awesome. Do you have acting classes presently?
I do coaching. I've been doing more like you know, like guest spotting, where somebody asked me to do a workshop or something, I'll do it that way. I used to do more teaching before, but I've been like really concentrating on my career. I've helped everybody else, you know, with their stuff for years, and I just thought this was my time. So I kind of just centered on me. But yeah, if somebody needs me, I'm always available.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And you have a clothing line and jewelry line.
I do. My clothing line is in the works. And my jewelry line, oh my gosh, I love stones. So stones talk to me.
That's right.
And I didn't even realize what I was doing until I got the Crystal Bible. It's, you know, almost like a dictionary of stones, and tells about their energies and all this stuff. And the things that I was already doing, I didn't realize that I understood the energies before I understood the energies.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So now what I do is I haven't, because of who I am, it's kind of, it feels weird. I had to stop because at one point I was doing vending, and then I was at a conference and people were like, aren't you that girl? And I was like, okay, this is a little weird. So I stopped vending, but I make jewelry like for friends, and like some people put in orders. I just did a 15 set order for Christmas for someone. And
Wow.
like I give them away to like people that I love and care about. And so it's usually I package them with, I put in there what the energy, what the stone is,
Yeah.
what the meaning of the stone is, and what the energy is. So people know what it is that they're wearing, and that I just didn't arbitrarily pick it because they like the color or something like that. But
That's all. So you make it yourself?
yes, I make jewelry myself. Yes.
So you're putting your
I make
energy
these
inside of it.
earrings too.
Did you make those?
Yeah, these
Gorgeous.
are yeah.
Gorgeous. So you're putting your energy inside of that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Very
And once I understood what the energy was, then I was like, okay, it's really important to understand why I'm putting this with this person. Or even when people pick a certain stone,
Yeah.
or when they stay away from a stone. Sometimes on my table, they're like, I don't want that. I don't know if they feel it's too expensive or if it's too much or what, but I tell them what it means so they understand like maybe why they're avoiding that particular stone.
Let's discuss the powerful film that you are in, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. You play a mother to a son who was killed by a police officer. How did you mentally prepare for that role, Alysia?
Oh, I think I just let it happen. I just let it take over me. Um, I didn't have to reach far because things are still happening even today.
Yes.
The day that we were shooting, the Botham Jean verdict was coming in.
Wow.
I had a lot of help with this. I felt like the ancestors were with me. I could feel spirit. It wasn't until I got on set, because I was on set a couple of days before I was shooting, that I found an article about Jake, because I researched and couldn't find anything. And then I found it, and then before we started shooting, I would ask people, can I tell you about my son? And then you could feel like it got heavy, like there was like a spirit in there that was very heavy. And like after each take was like an exhale.
Yeah.
When they would say cut, it was like an exhale, but you could cut the air with a knife. Like you could feel it, and I think all of us felt the weight of responsibility to this project. It wasn't an ordinary project. It was historical, and there was healing as well, because the Black Panther Party has been demonized by the government for so long, and people don't even know what they were about. They just think they were a terrorist group, which was not true at all. I mean, their name was the Black Panther Party of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to defend yourself, what are you defending yourself from? You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, something was happening that you felt that you had to bear arms to defend your community. And their whole purpose was self-sufficiency, was to empower their community. They're the ones who came up with the WIC program. They're the ones who came up with Head Start. They started the free breakfast and lunch program. They came up with free clinics. None of that existed before them. And the government took that on. So how do you take out the good of somebody and then make them evil? Doesn't make sense, right? You're either good or bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a whole lot in the middle. There's a gray area, but come on, you can't be a terrorist and feed the people.
That's right.
It doesn't go together.
This is what we're living in now,
Really, they just changed the names. It doesn't, like I just looked at the United States versus Billie Holiday, and I'm like, man, what the government has done to us as a people is really, really, really amazing. And then even what they're doing today, like They were just saying they tried to put through the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, and it did not pass. Why would that not pass in 2020? Like, why would you not make that illegal for you to lynch me?
Right.
It's astounding. It's astounding. Very much has not changed. If we've gone backwards, I feel.
I believe that too. When you're talking about Billie Holiday, are you talking about Billie Holiday, the singer?
Yes.
She died with what? 15 cents in her. She.
But the way the government came after her and targeted her because she sang Strange Fruit. That's like mind-boggling to me. She was a singer, and they destroyed her. They tried to get informants from the FBI to infiltrate her. They planted drugs on her so they can arrest her. They did everything to her. Even she was dying. She was dying of cirrhosis at Metropolitan Hospital.
Wow.
And they went to the hospital and told them to stop all treatment. And they handcuffed her to the bed. They shackled her to the bed and let her die. And when they stopped treatment, it took 2 days for her to die. How is that legal for a government to order for someone not to receive treatment while they're dying?
She was some woman.
She was amazing.
I'm a huge Billie Holiday fan.
I was like, me too. I read her autobiography when I was 12. So I've been a fan of hers for a very long time, but it's so funny that now after 50 years, these people have been gone for 50 years, the Black Panther Party, Billie Holiday. Now it's safe to tell these stories because the people who have committed these crimes are dead now. Also, now we can tell the truth about what really happened.
Sure.
Because you and I know her as an amazing singer, but a drug addict, and that's all we knew, right? We didn't know why, we just knew.
That's right.
Now the other part of it is coming out. There was one time that the police chased her and shot up her car. And they chased her, I think she was in New York, they chased her to Philly. And the reason how they found her is because she abandoned her car with all these bullet holes in it. And she didn't get shot, but they found it a block away from where she was staying.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. Do you know what year this was though? And it's
it was 60s, yes, 60s, 50s. In the 50s. Most of it I think happened in the 50s. Yeah.
I believe that we are, going back in time here. Now you're in Brooklyn, just like myself. What did you feel like last year when we went through, you couldn't even leave your home? I'm not even talking about COVID. I'm talking about, just angry people around. How did you cope with that, Alysia? Because it was pretty bad over here.
You know what? I guess I was very sheltered here. And like I was saying, my neighborhood is very close knit. People who live on my block have been here for years, and we've taken care of each other. We've looked out for each other. So I live in a very neighborhood, and then I have my family of artists. There's a lot of artists in Brooklyn, as you know.
Yes.
It's very cultural here. It's closer than you think in Brooklyn. But I didn't experience that. But I know, like, individually, when I went out, I had to be careful because people were angry. Like, I went to Target. Like, my favorite places were Target and Trader Joe's. That's like that's my club. I go to listen to the music, you sing with people across the aisle. Hey, how you doing? I remember I went to Trader Joe's one time. I was like, hey, everybody, how you doing? It's good to see you. Like, because I hadn't seen anybody, right?
That's right.
So
positive, yep.
Yeah, but I went to Target this one time, and it was this guy. It was a tall Black guy, and he seemed like to have a dark spirit around him. And I was like, I'm gonna watch for him. So I was in one aisle. I had my little granny cart. He took my cart and he moved it, like almost to another lane another aisle. And I was like, okay. I was like, please don't touch my cart. You know,
Yeah.
it's COVID. Don't touch my cart. You know, leave my cart alone. It's not a shopping cart. It's not the store cart. It's my cart.
Right.
Don't touch it, you know. This dude started cursing and like going into this thing. And I was like, do I got my mace? Like,
That's right.
so I started carrying mace with me because people are just angry about everything. And you catch that spirit once in a while. You'll catch somebody that is in that aura where they're just angry. They don't know what they're angry at,
Right.
but they direct it at you like you're the problem, you know, or you're the reason why they're angry. So it's almost like you have to be careful going out, and
Yeah.
you have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on, because people just act out. We've heard like different things happening. The one baby was on a train with her 2-year-old baby, and this person starts socking her baby. Like, we've been hearing about those kind of things where people just lose it for no reason because of the situation we're in. Mentally, this has really worn on people. Me too. But I know how to deal with it, you know, when I feel those feelings coming up, you know, just like you know.
Yeah.
But people are not handling it well. We've lost quite a few people to suicide.
Yes.
During this time.
Yes.
You know?
Mentally, it's a struggling time, but I think hopefully we're kind of coming out of it. Do you think? I mean,
I think so. I think it started with Biden.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, because it didn't help that we were bombarded. I felt like the child and the golden child that was surrounded by evil, you know what I mean? And you have to take little bits of goodness to keep your spirit right, you know?
Right.
I
Right.
felt like that. And yeah.
During that time, I just asked my guardian angels, please just be by my side. Just stay, you know, help me and my animals just get through this. So it was tough here in Brooklyn, though. I think around the world too, but I felt it here. You know, I'm just talking personal, but
Yeah.
so with your role, did you get any messages from mothers who lost their children to any type of violence? Did anybody reach out to you and say, you know, you did some job in this film?
I would have loved that. I really would have loved that.
I'm sure you were, yeah.
Yeah, and even with my PR people, I was asking them, you know, are there any panels, you know, with mothers? I really wanted that, and I didn't get that.
Oh.
Yeah, I did not get, that was one thing I did not get. Just the families reached out to me and told me, you know, how much it meant to me and my performance and everything. I mean, what it meant to them and my performance. But I wish I would have been able to talk to mothers. I wish, like Trayvon Martin's mother or anybody,
Yes.
you know, Breonna Taylor's mom or anybody. I would have loved that. Miss Pauline Winters, she passed away, I think they said in 94.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get to speak to her, but I did get a chance to meet over Zoom his sister, Helen.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish I really, yeah, that would have been everything for me.
Well, you never know. Maybe somebody's listening and they want to reach out to you. You're on Instagram, so
yes,
I'm comfortable with that.
Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Alysia Joy Powell. Yeah, please reach out. I would love that.
And Alysia, you can do serious roles and do comedy. I mean, you're the jack of all trades. You have some personality. I want to know, how can we start to make a difference in this world as human beings?
You know, at the core of who I am, you know, my family's name is Love. You know, my mom's maiden name is Love.
Nice.
And and my middle name is Joy.
Yes.
So my daddy named me Joy, and in the middle of all that is love and joy. If we just love each other a little bit more and see the God in everyone, and then, you know, exercise your inner joy, because it catches. You know, it catches. Love and joy spreads faster than any darkness that we have in this world.
Beautiful.
We just do that. That's our individual responsibility to the earth, And I think things grow and things flourish and things are a little happier when we think along those lines.
You bring such joy to I'm feeling the joy right now. Thank you for who you are. Do you have any next projects coming up?
I'm waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
I have some things that I would love, I got one project on, on the brain, the Mothers of the Movement. I would love to be in that, but we'll see what happens.
We'll have you back on then. And I think you're a wonderful human being and a beautiful woman. So thank you so much for making a difference in this world with your positive attitude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you looking to better your life but need a little more motivation? Contact leadership and life coach Ben Pappas at coaching@benpappas.com. That's coaching at BENPAPPAS.com.
When Dogs Fly is a coloring book for adults and a meditation guide. It can help you de-stress your life. Pick one up at Amazon today.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Preferred Health Magazine. Please visit www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today and subscribe.